Now in BBC One Scotland, Clive Myrie with the BBC News at 6 and reporting Scotland with Laura Goodwin.
At 6, the price of defeat. Prince Harry and 6 other claimants are ordered to pay millions of pounds in costs to the publisher of the Daily Mail. It comes after a failed privacy case with the judge describing their claims against the paper as unreasonable to a high degree. A warning for young children, the over 65s and those in poor health: avoid undercooked eggs when eating out. More intense storms, wind and rainfall are on the way this autumn as the warming Pacific Ocean affects our weather. Dozens of holidaymakers say their Tui River cruises were a misery with broken air conditioning and other faults. The company has apologised. And Joe Root gets off to a winning start as England captain with a comprehensive victory in the first test against Pakistan.
On Reporting Scotland at 6:30, a banned driver who caused the death of a man after crashing into his garden is jailed for 13 and a half years. And a body's been found in the search for a man who'd gone missing from a cruise ship en route to Dundee.
Hello to you. Prince Harry, Elton John and 5 other high-profile claimants have been ordered to make an initial payment of more than £9 million to the publisher of the Daily Mail after losing their privacy case earlier this year. Now, the Food Standards Agency is warning young children, people over 65 or those suffering from underlying health conditions to avoid undercooked eggs when eating out. It follows a salmonella outbreak largely affecting England. The agency is stressing it's not linked to British eggs, which are safe to eat, but most probably those from abroad. Here's Hugh Pym. The Met Office is warning that the El Niño weather phenomenon, which is developing in the Pacific Ocean, is set to be the strongest in more than a century, triggering intense storms, winds and rainfall across the UK this autumn. It also says it's very likely that globally next year will be the hottest on record, with the impact of El Niño combining with the effects of human-induced climate change. Justin Rolat has that story. My word. All right, Ben, thank you. Ben Rich, our weather presenter there. Now, a body has been recovered by search and rescue teams following reports that a passenger had gone overboard from a cruise ship off the east coast of Scotland. Formal identification has yet to take place, but the man's family has been informed. The cruise ship had been at the end of a 13-night voyage to view the solar eclipse, visiting the Faroe Islands, Iceland and Shetland. The Prime Minister has pledged to consult the victims and survivors of terrorism on the creation of a permanent national memorial. It comes on the first ever National Day, remembering the victims and survivors of terrorism. The government says the aim is to recognise all those who are affected, including witnesses and the emergency services. But a newly released report by the group Survivors Against Terror says while psychological support for victims has improved, the state compensation scheme needs an overhaul. Here's Nick Johnson. It is 16 minutes past 6, our top story this evening. And Prince Harry and 6 other claimants are ordered to pay millions of pounds to the publisher of the Daily Mail after losing their privacy case. And can they do it again? The new Premier League football season kicks off tonight as Arsenal begin their defence of the crown.
On Reporting Scotland at 6:30, the mother of a boy who had his surgery cancelled at Dr Gray's Hospital in Elgin says she's angry at the lack of support. And 2 Rangers fans have been banned from every football ground in the UK for participating in disorder at an Old Firm game.
Repeated Ukrainian drone attacks on Russian oil and gas supplies are having a real and visible impact, with long queues at the petrol pumps and fuel shortages across Russia. It's particularly bad in the capital, Moscow, where drivers are waiting for hours to fill their cars. Attacking energy infrastructure is an important tactic for both sides now. Dozens of people who spent thousands of pounds on holidays have accused Tui River cruises of operating vessels with faulty facilities. They say their holidays have been a misery, including broken air conditioning leading to sweltering temperatures on board. Tui has apologised to customers for trips they say which fell short of the standards they aim to deliver. Here's Katie Austin. The new Premier League football season kicks off tonight. 9 months of matches lie ahead with new managers, promoted teams and fresh rules designed to target time wasting. Arsenal take on Coventry at the Emirates this evening, the first game in their title defence. And Sarah Dawkins is there for us now. So the champions take on the newly promoted Midlanders in the curtain raiser, Sarah. Immigration has been a key topic of debate in the UK, but the leaders of one Scottish town believe it could be the key to its future. The population of Greenock has been dropping for decades, and Inverclyde Council has set out plans to bring in more legal migrants and refugees. Here's Michael Buchanan. Are we going to be smiling about the weather this weekend? Staff has the details. Hello.
Hi there, Clive. Yes, I think so. I think many of us, if we're so used to the brightness this summer, will be relieved to see the sunshine and brightness this weekend, because high pressure of some winds as well, which could be strong, so stay tuned to the forecast. Clive.
All right, Staff, thank you. Staff the nails there. That's it. I'll be back at 10. Now, though, it's time for the news where you are. Bye for now.
Tonight, the banned driver jailed for killing a great-grandfather in his own garden. Fraser Garden crashed a stolen car while on cocaine, killing John Bell in Broughty Ferry. In passing sentence, the judge spoke of the impact of John's loss on his family.
Whereas you will get a sentence today from which you will one day eventually be released, they have to endure a life sentence of pain from which they will never recover.
Also on tonight's programme, anger over the lack of support following the cancellation of paediatric surgery in Murray.
At this point, I'm begging for my son to have the surgery.
Danielle's son had his surgery at Dr. Gray's Hospital in Elgin cancelled over patient safety fears. A body's been found in the search for a man who had gone missing from a cruise ship en route to Dundee. 2 Rangers fans have been banned from every football ground in the UK for 5 years following disorder at an Old Firm match back in March.
And coming up in tonight's sport, mixed emotions following a busy night of European football, and we look ahead to this weekend's Dundee derby.
I'm Laura Goodwin, this is Reporting Scotland. A disqualified driver who killed a great-grandfather after crashing a stolen sports car into his garden has been jailed for 13.5 years. Fraser Garden killed John Bell in Broughty Ferry near Dundee in April. Garden, who had more than 90 previous convictions, had been driving at almost 3 times the speed limit and had taken cocaine. Judge Lord Braid told the 55-year-old he had stolen the life of a man in a place that should have been his sanctuary. Joanne Macaulay reports. The mother of a boy who had his surgery at Dr. Gray's Hospital in Elgin cancelled over patient safety fears says she's angry at the lack of support she's been offered. NHS Grampians said earlier this week all planned paediatric surgery at the hospital has been suspended, and also revealed emergency surgery was paused in June, but the public was not informed. It comes as a senior health official claimed Scotland's NHS is more focused on its reputation than patient safety. Rebecca Curran reports. Well, over on the BBC Scotland channel from 7 o'clock, Sarah McMullen will hear from Scotland's Patient Safety Commissioner, who says she agrees with comments made today about a lack of speak-up culture across the NHS. A murderer who stabbed his stepmother's ex-partner to death in Annan before setting his flat on fire in an attempt to cover his tracks has been sentenced to life imprisonment. 35-year-old Gabriel Brown will serve at least 23 years. Selina Jackson's report from the High Court in Glasgow contains some graphic details. The High Court trial of former World Snooker champion Graham Dott has heard closing speeches from both the prosecution and the defence. The 49-year-old is accused of lewd and libidinous behaviour towards 2 children between 1993 and 2010. The prosecutor said the court had heard clear, detailed and compelling evidence from both complainers. The defence asked the jury not to accept either accuser as credible or reliable. Graham Dott denies the charges against him. 2 Rangers fans have been banned from every football ground in the UK for 5 years for participating in disorder at an Old Firm game. The men aged 19 and 21 were captured on video during chaotic scenes at the Scottish Cup quarter-final in March. Our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin has more. People over 65, pregnant women, children under 5 and those with underlying health conditions are being warned not to have undercooked or runny eggs when they're eating out. It comes after a UK Health Security Agency warned of a salmonella outbreak across Britain. Our news correspondent Jamie McIver is with us. Jamie, so a message for those who might be vulnerable.
Indeed, Laura, and just to
Okay, Jamie, thank you very much. Now, how would you feel about some basic health checks traditionally done by your doctor or nurse being done by a robot? A GP surgery in Dundee is piloting a scheme that uses the technology to help maximise time with the doctor. Our health correspondent Lisa Summers reports. Well, time now for Sport with Lewis. It was a mixed fortune for the teams in European action last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, mixed results, mixed performances, mixed emotions. It was all happening last night. Absolutely. Thanks, Laura. Yes, hello there. Well, we start with the European football, and Rangers boss Ed McInnes says he can't be holding players' hands after an eventful performance in their narrow victory over Jablonec in the Conference League playoff. And that's all from the sport. But Kirsten, you'll agree with me here. I cannot leave the studio without wishing you a happy birthday before I go.
Yes,
there you
go.
Dropped
Guys,
it in.
we're trying to keep it a secret.
Can't keep the secrets out here.
No. Well, listen, Kirsten is here. We've had a lot of interest online in the El Nino phenomenon and how that might impact us here in Scotland. What can you tell us?
Very likely to bring across the northwest of Europe, and the UK and Scotland included in that, likely to bring spells of very wet and stormy conditions, particularly during the autumn and the early winter too. But the weather's looking fairly settled this weekend, Laura. Yes, thank you. Good evening to you. It's been a fairly decent day of weather across many parts of the country, a theme that continues into the weekend. So quite a cool feel for some eastern coasts. Laura.
Kirsten, thank you very much. Now, tonight's main news again. A band driver is jailed for killing a great-grandfather in his own garden. Fraser Garden crashed a stolen car while on cocaine, killing John Bell in Broughty Ferry. And that's where we leave you. Kirsten and I will be here with your late news and weather at around 10:30 tonight. Until then, from everyone on the team, have a great weekend when it comes. Bye-bye.